All right, shall we?
We have to talk
I think
about
we've avoided talk about this game long enough.
Yeah, we tried.
Connor's other day that he's not with us. He has to watch the New York Jets.
Right.
So
You can see why I gravitate back to this game.
It really is a life of sadness.
It's misery.
Nets, Jets,
Misery.
Rangers.
Mets, Jets, and happy hour.
Yeah.
Like the three pillars of sadness.
This is my happy place.
Yes, these are the notable fantasy performances. There are 2 players that scored 10-plus points. Ashton Genty and Troy Franklin. That's it. After that, J.K. Dobbins, Tyler Lockett. If you started Bo Nix, I apologize. That's going to hurt.
I did.
I don't know if anyone started Geno Smith, but if you did, I also apologize.
We got to hear from Bo Nix after the game on a very unhappy Denver crowd.
Well, I've been booed before and I'll be booed again, so not going to be the last time. It's obviously unfortunate. You don't want your own fans booing you, but, it's part of it.
All right. It is part of it. But you know what stops the booing? When you're not terrible
Playing
against
well.
a bad defense. I mean, look, a fix for Nix. Well done, Dev. That's a pretty good headline there.
There's no fix.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, he's been up, he's been down. Bo Nix, against Las Vegas, he was off-targeted almost 29% of his passes, 28.6. That's the second highest by a quarterback in a game this season. Second lowest completion percentage on passes, 15 or more air yards this season. That's 32%. Those are stats that tell you what you know if you watch the game. He's not good.
Right now,
He's not good. Now, it hasn't always translated into not fantasy points. Despite not being good, he's managed to put up fantasy points. There he had the big game against Dallas. He had the crazy comeback against the Giants. But just from a person, this is somebody who, this should have been a good game last night, right? Again, he's been able to put up fantasy points. You're like, the Raiders don't have a good defense. I started him. This was my dumb logic. I started Bo Nix. I'm in a guillotine league, and I started Bo Nix. I have Mahomes on a bye, so I was Bo Nix or Jared Goff. I'm like, boy, I'm worried about Goff against my Commanders just because I think they're going to get so big. I think it might be just a big Gibbs and Montgomery day, and that Montgomery, that Goff is he's with 175 with a touchdown, maybe 2 and 2 picks. But I'm like, Nix is going to light up the Raiders. After they've struggled, this is 40 yards rushing, 250 yards, 2 touchdowns, maybe 3.
Should have been a floor there. Should have been a floor.
And it wasn't, and he was awful, and he scored 5.8 points or whatever. I'm amazed he got to that.
Yeah.
There was no got him through the touchdown.
There was none.
Yeah.
They were dominated.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of order, huge proponent of order. Patrick Mahomes needs to restore order next week. We can't have the Broncos getting away with this and winning the AFC West. Just can't have it happen. Can't have this team getting a 1 seed. Where the defense is good. The defense is very good and will get better when Patrick Sutton comes back. But Bo Nix he's been bad all year. It's not just this game. He got away with it in the Jets game. That's the one that really kills me. Because your Jets, they should have. If Tyrod comes in the third quarter, they win that game, and Bo Nix all of a sudden gets held to account. Instead, he's 8-2.
But that's the point, right? They just keep quote playing with their food, right? In terms of they screwed around with the Jets and they should have lost that game. They should have lost to the Giants. It wasn't until a crazy fourth quarter comeback that they end up winning.
Great comment here by T. Spitsky. Bo Nix should try corner like Ryan Gosling and Remember the Titans.
Yeah.
Which is one of the great call-outs, a little hidden kind of nugget that Ryan Gosling was in Remember the Titans. It's like how...
Did he play Sunshine? Was that who is it?
He's a very bit part role. He's not a major character.
I haven't seen Remember the Titans since it came out, whatever.
Does he have a crazy dad in that movie? Then he does come in heroically to play defensive back.
Let me tell you.
He's not a big part.
He doesn't look like Crazy Stupid Love Ryan Gosling.
Okay.
I'll tell you that much. He looks like just a very normal kid. It reminds me of Tom Cruise in All the Right Moves, where he plays a 5'6" cornerback.
Corner. Seems unlikely. Yes.
And All the Right Moves. The big move is let's play goal line defense the entire game. That was the big defensive. Watch the movie. That movie is crazy.
It's a ridiculous film. It's an absolutely ridiculous film.
That or Draft Day.
And then there's a penalty, and they mad, but then the coach somehow gets a defensive coordinator job at Cal Polytech, which is the one school the kid wanted to go to, and it's a happy ending there. I ruined All the Right Moves for you specifically so you don't have to watch it because you don't want to watch it.
Yeah. There's an incredible showdown between the coach and Tom Cruise. The we didn't quit, you quit scene is an all-timer.
It's kind
of like the Point Break of bad football movies.
It always comes back to Point
Break.
Break.
Remind me in the commercial break to tell you, there's a very off-color story that I know about that movie that I cannot say on air.
Looking forward to it.
Yeah. Just remind me to tell you about that I always think about when I hear all the right moves. But back to Bo Nix. What do you do with him? I don't think you can. The problem is that while he's bad NFL-wise, fantasy-wise he's been inconsistent. But I don't know that you can start him. Here's what I would say. I think if you survive this week or whatever, right? If you've started him, next week they play the Chiefs, as you mentioned. I'm not starting him against the Chiefs. Then they've got a bye. So I don't want Bo Nix for 2 weeks. See how he does a bit against the Chiefs. Then they're at Washington, so that could be fruitful.
But we thought that last night.
Against the Raiders, that's the point. If he can't produce against the Raiders, there's no rhyme or reason to it.
They have no pass rush
he
right
was
now.
good. He was good NFL and fantasy-wise against the Texans. That's what screws everything up.
Yeah.
Because he couldn't do anything against the Jets either. Like, they're just all up and down. This is brutal. I don't understand how they're, like, so J.K. Dobbins, like, on a night in where nothing else was working, J.K. Dobbins, 18 for 77, catches one ball for 7 yards, which is his receiving prop was like 2.5 yards, so he cashes the over there as well, but doesn't get into the end zone. And I don't understand, like, they didn't give it to him. Like, the one thing that was working is that J.K. Dobbins was able to run the ball, and they just kept, I know 18 carries is a lot, but just felt like they didn't go to it in crucial moments. They keep using R.J. Harvey in weird ways.
Very odd ways. I mean, 6 touches, and it's always closer to the red area. It's not like there's not really a lot of like schemed ways to get R.J. Harvey consistently going. No. But then when they do get him involved, it feels like it kills Dobbins' flow. There's just no real rhyme or reason to figuring out this backfield right now. That's just the honest truth.
It's a tough one there. I think you probably still have to. But I thought my bet last night was for J.K. Dobbins to get into the end zone. And I should have been right on that, and I was not. Kudos to you, though. You called Raiders plus 9.5. Obviously, that cashed.
To be fair, no one got in the end zone.
What are you going to do? Ved FF Happy Hour regular says we're higher on Troy Franklin going forward. I think this leads us to a conversation about Franklin, but also Courtland Sutton, who is on my team. So he's terrible, right? He fits in with the rest of the crew on my team.
Showdown between our guys last night. I had Brock Bowers, you had Courtland Sutton. Brock Bowers does nothing. He has one catch, but pretty much almost played you to a draw. You've got like a 1.7 point advantage so far.
Yeah, to be honest with you, if you told me, like, we'll come out of this game and I'll be leading you, which I am, 5.4 to 3.7.
Whoa, easy there, Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen.
I'll take it because I think that Brock Bowers is the number one guy in his position.
Sure.
Right.
Courtland Sutton is not. So if I come out of that with a draw or even like a 1.5 point.
If you lose this week.
Well, I'm going to try not to.
Yeah,
I'm going to try and win.
You're now like a 35-point favorite instead of like the 45 or something.
The superstars are going to start rolling out on Sunday. JSN, Amon-Ra St. Bradley. None of this 3.7 point garbage.
But in fairness, Brock Bowers is a superstar.
He was, apparently. Though he was completely submarined by Geno Smith, who... Geno just looks broken to me, Connor.
I mean, obviously the Broncos' pass rush is insane, and he's a guy that holds the ball, and they can't protect him to do that, so he was on the turf the whole night. But even a couple of times where he had a pocket, he missed throws that he doesn't always miss.
I do want to go back to Courtland Sutton, though, because somebody asked me on Twitter, like, please talk about this, and I think this is a controversial thing. I want to give a shout-out to my Fantasy Life team, actually, because we actually put out an article about potential drops. And so there was like a social graphic, and one of the potential drops was Courtland Sutton. And they got flamed. Wow, Courtland Sutton, he's a top. And the argument was, like, look how inconsistent he is. Look at the target share. Like, not necessarily convinced this is somebody that you want drop. And by the way, it's now his 3rd straight game. And shout out to that. So my writers got absolutely flamed for it. And I think they were actually turned out right. 3rd straight game with under 11 fantasy points. Since week 6, he's wide receiver 44 in points per game. And in games in which he doesn't score a touchdown, he's basically become a very touchdown-dependent. He's similar to a touchdown-dependent tight end, just at the wide receiver position. In games in which he doesn't score a touchdown this year, he's averaging just over 9 fantasy points per game. He'd be wide receiver 46 on a points per game basis. Since week 5, he hasn't seen a target share above 23%. He had a 15% target share in this one. They're spreading it around. Troy Franklin is coming on. And shout out to our friend Matt Harmon, who points out the fact that Courtland Sutton, when he gets man coverage, he's terrific.
He's excellent.
But against zone coverage, he can't get open. And that's the Raiders played almost, a lot of zone last night. And so just, shout out to Matt Harmon and Reception Perception on that one. And to my Fantasy Life team, we pointed this out as well. And it's just, I don't know, man. Like, my team's terrible, so I have to keep rolling him out there, but I don't think he's a must-start anymore.
Well, and here's the problem, guys, to piggyback off your point about man versus zone, now teams are starting to play him that way because he has 83 receiving snaps against man coverage this year. He has 291 against zone.
Yeah.
So the opportunities against man are few and far between, where he's great against them, but how you're not guaranteed many of them.
If you're a defense coordinator and you know this, you're like, why are we playing man?
Yeah, which is strange because usually, like, you would rather a receiver be better against man coverage, more predictive going forward. Just the ability to beat the guy covering you is more predictive across the whole full season. But he seemingly hasn't figured it out, at least in the scheme of this offense,
and
about how to beat them.
Bo too, though.
Yeah,
but I was just going to say,
right.
yes.
It's bigger than Courtland Sutton. Like, Bo is not attacking windows against zone with confidence like we saw sometimes last year from him as a rookie. This year, I don't see it at all.
Well, the book on Bo is that it's either short stuff or it's deep stuff, and there's not that much intermediate stuff. There's not a lot of sophistication in the throw.
No, and it makes sense on man because Sutton is such a good 50-50 ball winner.
Yes.
That it doesn't matter if he's open. Just throw it somewhere near him. He's such a big-bodied guy, and he's so good at high pointing the ball.
They killed the Giants in the fourth quarter.
Right, exactly right.
Just man opportunities.
Screw it, Bo. It doesn't matter if he's open. Just where's 14? Find him. But now. So yes, I suppose to answer your question, do we feel better about Troy Franklin moving forward? Sure, but I don't feel good about this offense at all. No. Again, they're playing Kansas City next week. We'll be off of the bye. Yeah. Huge game for Kansas City because they're going to be 2 games behind the Broncos in the division.
Here. Chiefs 3.5 point favorites on the road there, by the way. So
yeah, give me the Chiefs. Give me the Chiefs. Hey, it's Matthew Berry from NBCSports.com and RotoWorld.com, and I want to thank you so much for watching whatever it is you just watched, or if nothing else, being too lazy to click out of the autoplay after this video started, after whatever it is you actually wanted to watch finished. But now that you're here, I'd like to take a moment here to ask you respectfully now, okay? I'm asking you respectfully to subscribe to the NFL on NBC YouTube channel. You'll get the latest RotoWorld fantasy news headlines, all sorts of great shows, including my own Fantasy Football Happy Hour. So go subscribe now. Again, I'm asking respectfully.